Today I am going to talk to you about, I don't know, what do you want to say, famous or well-known or whatever the case might be. They call him a criminal, a Serb, a Serbian criminal. I personally don't know which one of this shit, for me to properly express myself, was a bigger, a greater criminal. I have no idea. I have no idea because I met them all. The biggest criminal of them all is Aleksandar Vučić. This is the president of Serbia. If I tell you that Aleksandar Vučić and before that Milošević and all these presidents of the Serbian parliament is the one that is running the Serbian underground mafia gangsters, I'm not lying to you. It's a fact. I know so because it was a Slovenian police that would deliver me to the Serbian police. It was a neighbor here, one house from here, Metod Jerman, that would deliver me to Arkan, would deliver me to Kristjan Golubović. These are just the two. And I'm talking about Arkan because I read something about, he talks about the Arkan. The thing is, these are clowns, these are numbers. And every one of them has a number. From Republic Srpska, from Serbia, from the Serbian state, certification as a criminal. The same thing like employee inside of the hospital or a police officer or somebody that works inside of the government or whatever it is, or cleaner or whatever it is. Same shit. Same shit. Every fucking one of these Serbian criminals, because this is all there is to Serbia, was involved in extermination procedure against me since my childhood. It's a Belgrade. This is where Josip Broz Tito was. It was the capital of crime in Yugoslavia. Why? Well, because you cannot be a notable criminal in Serbia if you did not know, if you didn't met me. Why? Because when you get caught abroad, you're dead, pretty much. You won't see the daylight because nobody's going to give a fuck about you, and you're not going to have anybody to bail you out, to save you. The only way for you to be a criminal, to be a licensed criminal, is by your meeting me. And then through the connections, the people that were involved in my case, then you have a chance to survive. Then you become certified to be a criminal and run your cartel or whatever, etc., etc., etc. We're talking about the British Royals here for sure, and German government, about Berlin. I'm talking about the France, about the Paris. I'm talking about Italy, Milano, Rome, London, Madrid. Sure. There are Serbian criminals in Spain who tortured me as well. How the fuck not? So now when you traffic, when you the narco, when you whatever the fuck you do, robberies, whatever the fuck you do, the day comes and you know, every one of you knows, you have to go to the court. Now it's a big question. You can get whatever the judge writes down on a paper, or you can negotiate with a judge in the background of it all through your connections for a much, through the easing in circumstances for a much, lesser punishment, penalty. Yes? That's exactly how it goes. He went with the Karadzic. No, you don't even have to serve the prison sentence if you're really good. In every prison, they also have a rear entrance, I should say exit. The people who decide about your imprisonment are prison guards and prison ward. That's all the fuck there is to it. The best prison sentences are handed to the criminals when they are sent to the solitary confinements. Those are the best, I was told, in Ankeacha. Because nobody knows where the fuck you are. Maybe. Ask Vojislav Šešelj how he made it out. War criminals. I told you about war criminals, how they got them out of the prisons, reduced them sentences and so on. I told you they traded. It's a main business. British right now are busy on Russian criminals, on the Russians who committed war crimes, as well as on Ukrainians. And not only are studying their crimes, they're already studying the circumstances that can be used to reduce their sentences. They're already searching now, during the war in Ukraine, for the circumstances that will allow them easing way out. Basically, in other words, to turn them into a material that will be of benefit to them. You understand? I'm not a criminal, but I probably know more about how this stuff is done than the judges and probably many police officers. Prison wards, prison guards. I know how it's done from the top of the state. I know how it was done, because it was done repeatedly. And so today I'm going to talk to you about this guy here. This is his mama, Milanka Golubović. I made a big mistake. A little earlier I stated the number that was not correct. And obviously it's going to be about Kristjan Golubović. He's a superstar in Serbia, a reality TV star, who, however, spent 10 years inside of the jail. I wasn't sure where I'm going to even go after him, but 10 years is nothing. And when I consider the way he spent time inside in there, the stuff he really was doing, and what he's mouthing, the way he is posturing around himself, I said to myself, especially because of the issue in Greece that took place, I'm going to take time. I'm going to devote myself to him. He was very busy also with the death threats. He gave me a lot of death threats, claiming he's going to meet me in Slovenia, in Ljubljana, Novo Mesto, whatever, kill me. Demonstrated me inside of the jail, not on one, but on multiple occasions. Opportunities on how the people are killed inside of the prison. I read this stuff here. I read about how he explained how the prisoners are killed. So this is not about, this stuff is not about, I don't think he ever killed anybody. He claims that he killed people. He claims here that he killed in Greece, that he killed 9 people. 9 was the number that, this was my number. My number was 9. I was born on December 9, and whenever I was asked what's your favorite number, I always had a number 9. 9 is just a number I like. It's nice, round, little bit, nice number. I like that. So the way he explained that people are killed, we lift you up, we put the rope around your neck, and we hang you. They tie the loop around your neck, the 2, and the 3, or probably afterwards the 3 jump on you, and they pull your neck out. they only hold you, and when your neck falls down, the prisoner piss in their pants. You can hear him how he's in the pants, and they let him go. They let it go. They take away from you the clothing like this, like this. This is how this stuff is done, right? He's demonstrating here how they grab him like this, then they lift him up, a loop around the neck, this and that, and that's exactly what I explained to you. And so it's done. Yeah, maybe he really did kill. Inside of the prison, he claimed that he saw it, how they do it. So that he witnessed somebody, he saw it. So at the end, he finishes. It's investigation. The forensics come, and what they do is they come to realize there was no struggle, there was no signs of fight, nothing. What they do is they write on the certificate that the person committed a suicide. Probably is true. So very, very colorful explanation from Kristjan Golubović, who orchestrated this to me, what he's going to do with me, and so on and so on and so forth. Quite a big guy. He's a 192 centimeters, a very, very muscle guy, and he became really brazen after my spine was broken in 1990, my spine was broken at the boxing club during MK Ultra, through the MK Ultra procedure. Milan Kucha and Robert Golob, they got it done with, I'm not going to even get into it. This is the stuff I already have written on the blog about. So he became really tough. Once my spine became partially broken, I'm going to say, my disc became herniated, and worse than that, since I had really a problem doing push-ups, for the reason I didn't even dare to think about. If I would start to think about what the stuff was done to me inside of the boxing gym, honestly, it would not work out for me. I'm going to put it 91, 92 when it comes to spine breaking. I was never the same. The push-ups that I would do, it would be just, it never deteriorate since, but when I was doing the push-ups were really done in such a way that when I would be doing push-ups, I would feel the pain, the torsion in the disc, and I would basically lean on one hand more than on the other to do the push-ups, because it was just with the hand that I need to use in order to stop the torsion and reduce the other one of pressure, so that I would not damage myself more. Yeah. But Kristjan Golubović was involved in my case since my childhood, and they groomed him to be a gangster. They groomed him. He was one of the most perspective, a profession. We get a profession, a criminals to be. He was Illuminati criminal. This is not a regular person. This is Illuminati criminal, and his godfathers, his protectors. I don't even believe he's acting suicidal. He's acting like really wrecking and stuff. British royals, all the way, British royals at the top of the British state, British royals. See, I'm never gonna forget the day when his mother died. His mother died in 2019 is where they write about how she died. The sister is all out of herself after the mother died. Terrible thing. And the mother died in 2019, Well, this criminals, all the criminals, and his mama was really violent. She was the one who incited this Kristjan into violence. Sister was not any better. The whole family. I am just gonna stop here. Milanka Golubović supposedly died in 2019. The thing about it is that, and you're gonna read here, they are doing it. They try to remind me of this stuff here. According to MK Ultra scenario, and I will never forget this, he is about 2 years older than myself. I am 53 and he is 55. Yeah. British royals, Slovenian police claimed me that his mom died when he was when I was like 14 years old. That's like 1985, 1986, let's say, first grade maybe of the high school. His mother died. And because I did not express any compassion with Kristjan Golubović, yeah, this is a case of a schizophrenia. This is a definitely case of schizophrenia, government schizophrenia. When you're going to use as a government official criminals, people that are going to be involved directly in a physical torture, then you're going to do everything possible for every trace of involvement of these individuals to be all entangled in all kinds of brainwash that does not correspond to official data. And it's fucked up because once I have proven my case in Poland in 2018, you had these tough guys and people that were involved in it. Many of them simply die all over the fucking place. Such was the case with Ante Pavlović, right here on the other side of Gorjanci, a Croat whom Slovenian police also abused for torture. I was looking at this stuff here, really. I wasn't sure what the fuck to do with this guy. It's not about him. This is the guy to whom Slovenian police would deliver me on a regular basis for torture. This also was a tough guy. He also was afraid that one day this stuff is going to come to an end and we're going to meet in person. He was a tough guy during MK Ultra, but he would not want to meet me in real time. Kristjan also was a tough guy during MK Ultra, but in real time, he was not interested in meeting me. When I was a boy, younger, he knew what it means to meet me. Even the joked up. He knew. In 1986, Kristjan was like 18 years old, and he posed like a poor guy, like a guy that is nothing. He's a poor guy. Mother died. They were psychologically breaking me down. They wanted to create. It was a personality that is, they were creating a very, very serious disorder, mental disorder. It's not gonna say infantile personality, but it's a type of personality when you're not secure in yourself, you know, when you don't take charge, because it was so many death threats, such a crazy stuff. And one of the stuff I will never forget was the issue of his mother. How would it be without your mama, you know, by yourself? Even mommy would die and so on. Knowing that I love my mom and my father, so they were playing with this stuff too. And so we'll never forget Prince Charles and Prince Andrew. I was berated, I was scolded, whatever, and I was told, well, you know, you don't, this is your friend and this and that, and you don't have any compassion for him, and you know, that kind of stuff. I think he also stabbed, shortly after that, he stabbed somebody. So I'm not really sure whether that had something to do to cover up that issue, or there was a lot of stuff that went on with this guy. He had me in every prison he was. He had me throughout the Belgrade. A neighbor here, Metod Jerman, traveled to him, to Arkan, to all these criminals with the police, with the Slovenian police. They would deliver me to Belgrade. So I actually felt bad about this stuff. I felt bad that that his mother died, and I was not compassionate. I said to myself, or maybe that's really not nice. He was a rough guy. He was nothing good. He was up to no good. But the British Royals insisted that this is my supporter, that this is my companion, that this is my, you know, comrade, tovarish, you know. And so somebody who's going to help me free myself. Listen, I didn't want to be on the picture anywhere in Belgrade and anywhere next to Kristjan Golubović, any of the Serbian criminals. Shortly after that war started, I mean, there was no way to get out of this ring of death. There was no way out of it. And the further it went, the more crime was involved in it. The kids that I associated with during MK Ultra turned into grown-up men. Some into the war criminals, others into criminals. Some people who participated became war criminals. Criminals, you name it. When it came to Serbia, nothing was more than criminal than Serbia, basically. Out of all the people involved, out of all the Serbs that I know of involved in MK Ultra, the one who committed more violence than anybody else was Kristjan Golubović. This was the selected, the preferred choice of Serbian Chetniks such as Aleksandar Vučić. Where is Aleksandar Vučić? Everybody know who Vučić is. This is Šešelj, this is, you know, previous Karadzic was his trainer, Milošević was his trainer. Vučić was involved in this case since my childhood. Literally, he became a president of the Serbia. Vučić said that ovako nas sudbina razdvojila I ovako razdvoje and so on and this and that. The thing about it is, I never had any kind of sudbina. I don't know what the fuck the sudbina is. Destiny. I never had destiny. I was the only man in this world, one and only one. And never was another one like me. Ask British royals, you don't believe me, how much money they paid to get me killed throughout the grammar school. Just multiply 365 with 8. And then you can multiply, when it comes to the physical fights, for sure, not one, not two, not wherever, for every fucking day, even for the days I was off. The violence in real world, the violence when jacked up, subjected to MK Ultra. They claim I will never make it past 2nd grade. I will never make past 4th grade. I'm never gonna make past 6th grade. And I will settle for a short education after the 8th grade. You're never gonna have a high school. You're never gonna have any kind of education. You're never gonna be anybody. That's the way it was, and they had a strong arguments in their hands, from teachers that supervised violence to unlimited number of children, and then already teenagers and grown kids and men and so on. It just did not cease. They were certain that if one thing is not going to work, then another one is going to work. Robert Golob, Milan Kučan was certain, I'm going to fall for a pepper, extensive pepper seasoning of the food. Since it failed, they were certain I'm going to become an alcoholic. They started to introduce alcohol, wine into MK Ultra. It wasn't only Prince Andrew who insisted and demanded from me consumption of the alcohol. The first one who started the alcohol was Milan Kučan, Robert Golob, Borut Pahor, Gregor Golubović. And that didn't work. It was time for drugs. Then they introduced drugs. They wanted to drugs. We're going to play with the drugs. It's going to be drugs are good. That didn't work either. When it comes to Vučić, this is just another number. This is a nobody. This is just a child from the wealthy family that evo ti papuče, evo ti gače, evo ti majica, srajca, obuci ovo, vozi u školu, donesi ovo, ono, tamo u školi, učiteljica, ajde Vučiću, sve u guzu, besplatno, freeloader, every fucking step, from grammar school, everything, evo, završio školu, evo ti posao, evo ti ljude, here, finish the education, here is the job, here are the people that are going to help you open the horizon from the top of the state. You know, I don't consider this as a people. Fuck that. I don't consider that as a people. This, for me, this is like a quarter people. This is nobody. And not in the world where you have a standards like this. This is not the same thing. One thing is when they put everything in your ass, and then it's something else when you go through where you are born to spend your life jobless, forcefully jobless, bound to become either depicted as a mentally ill individual or a criminal or commit a suicide or whatever. You understand? You're not a fucking human being, you fucking shit. You're fucking nobody. Foremost, you're nobody. For me to talk about you, what the fuck, eh? Do you deserve for me to talk? You're fucking nobody. You fucking spit. You pose in front of me. He's posed in front of me in Moscow. Would you know how big? And this in front of Macron and this Macron. Voila! How big this and that. These are your credentials. This is the way you see the reality is. That's how I see it. That's how I see the world. I don't see this through my eyes like this. I see it through you for what the fuck you are, and I tell you, you're nobody, you're nothing, you're trash, garbage, a criminal, a low life, just as I described in this video. That's all you are. It takes a lot to be a human, something you will never understand anyways. Makes no sense to even talk about Macron in this. He's not any better than you. What is the difference between Macron and you and Trump and all these politicians? This is the same shit, isn't it? It's the same garbage. What is the difference? None. So the system, I don't know. Maybe they thought that they were introducing me to the gangsters from Belgrade, all this stuff. Josip Broz Tito was growing like a gangster. I told you about that he used me to transport for what they refer to as the Nazis to Western Germany and the fascist Italian, whatever was left here, to Italy and Romanian or wherever they got. And he was collecting the money for that stuff, gold and stuff. He was selling, actually, he was collecting the money, gold from Romanians, from Ukrainians, from the Russians, from Hungarians, whatever. He was Belgrade. This is a fucking capital of the crime in Balkans. It's bad as it gets, and it started with the Josip Broz Tito. Then he would collect this shit. He would deliver this stuff to Germany or to Italy, and he would sell this to the Germans, Italians, and collect this for this cheap gold he got in Eastern Europe, across the Eastern Europe. Maybe the tooth that he pulled from people, whatever the fuck he was selling, all kinds of stuff. Robbing people. Josip Broz Tito was shit. But this is Belgrade. This is the way it is. This is what Belgrade is. This is reality talk now. So Golubović appears to me was just another one that Serbian government listed as a prospective future criminal. But what bothered me the most is that British royals, or the British Empire, Britain, expanded through me more than it did through the single case. This case was so significant for Britain that it covered through the tentacles, through the British crime tentacles, everything from regular people in the street, through the prostitution, through the criminals of organized crime, through with the heads of the state, because every country has a career criminals to do the job. Somebody got to do that kind of job too. So basically, the corruption, the British tentacles spread throughout the entire globe. Throughout the entire globe. Asia, South America, Africa, Europe, Northern American continent, Central American, Australia, Oceania, you fucking name it. Greenland, too few people on Antarctica, but okay. Arctica, whatever. Everywhere they delivered me, every fucking place, and you can imagine. Kristjan Golubović talked to me, and he's posing in the media They have this reality. Big Brother is watching your show. No, watching you, but this Big Brother show, you know, inside of the house. I don't watch that shit. The hidden camera show and stuff like that. And he's really aggressive, and they do it like this. He did have me also inside of this reality show. The Serbs had me inside of this reality show where they tortured me just like inside of the prisons, wherever they would deliver me. If it was not only the Serbian prisons, but the Serb had the ability to deliver me also wherever the Serbian criminals were imprisoned, such as Kristjan Golubović. He was not the only one. I told you, entire underground, Serbian underground, Belgrade was involved in this crime. Together with the Slovenian police, they run this crime. You know, Slovenia is a Serbian puppet state with the Slovenian police officers that basically gambinos, basically. Look, I am angry because I was brainwashed since I was baby to see Italy as a criminal state, mafia and this and that. You know, if you really know Slovenia, you know this is the shit of the shit in this world. It's more corrupt, it's 1,000 times more criminal than Sicily or whatever, Calabria, they say it's bad, and Sardinia, whatever. 1,000 times worse is Slovenia. This is where the police do the job. This is where you're going to have police officers do this stuff. You have to worry about Slovenia. The reality goes through the Belgrade. This is a Serbian puppet state, Slovenia. And this is what I continue to alert you about Slovenia, what Slovenia is. They're all going to act, oh no, it's different, it's not, it's so on. Yeah, you know. Everything about Slovenia, Belgrade decides about every fucking thing. You want to call them a social democrats, you want to call them leftists or liberals or communists or whatever you want to call them. The other side is not any better. The same shit. Just a different clothing, just a different, you know, that make them stand out more, basically with their own crime they contribute to society. So, you know, this is Slovenia, this is a real Slovenia, this is how the reality is here. So, I read that Kristjan spent 10 years inside of the jail. It's written about how he spent 10 years inside of the jail. You know, it's actually even here. It says that he tried to commit a suicide in a Croatian prison. And I was actually thinking about what the fuck to do with this stuff. Whether should I go and do this stuff or not go? And I had a very, very serious problem with it because of this stuff here. Because it says here that he was in a Croatian jail. That's also what I was delivered. Where he attempted a suicide. That's because it was the mother inside in there. That kind of stuff. Croatian police, I must say, they orchestrated a total schizophrenia. They did not disappoint. Same as it was in Greece. A little bit I'm going to talk to you about. Same shit. Torture inside of the prison. A good guy and bad guy. Good guy was a Croat, and the bad guy, of course, was Golubovic's mother, and he and others he interacted inside of the prison till it became evident that the Croat was not really any better than Serb. And so, but this is what they were doing. The same shit was in Greece. So I don't know how long he spent. He might be a suicidal type. I don't know. He is having fights all the time, this and that. I would not want him to commit a suicide. I would prefer him not to commit a suicide. You can see that he is. He's explaining about how people commit suicide inside of the prisons. He was very, very, very paranoid, very, very afraid about that one day they're going to find him hanging somewhere inside of the prison. He was totally paranoid. The reality, what I learned about Kristjan Golubović, it goes past all the bullshit I talked about. That was a Croatian prison, so with Golubović, everybody knew since Greece. He was inside of this Greek prison all the time. He was talking about this, how the people get killed and so on. I'm not surprised that in Croatian prison that he acted as suicide or whatever. Because it's a Hrvatska, it's a Croatia, of course. They killed him. Almost, they did, right? I mean, in that sense, right? That's his word against their word, whatever. But the fact of the matter is here that we're going to put this stuff aside. The fact of the matter is, the other guy died in this Pavlović died. This one, she died in 2019. She died in 2019. I told you, once I started to collect the proofs from Poland, everybody, the tough people started to die left and back and forth and so on. And so Ante Pavlović, this one here died, I think, in 2020, right? So he died in 2020. That's basically right after I returned to Slovenia. So many of them were involved, The thing about, let me explain to you something about this stuff here. I'm going to put it plain and simple to Kristjan Golubović, who wanted to meet me in Slovenia. He said, "We're going to meet you. I'm going to come, and if not, otherwise I'm going to come to Novo Mesto to kill you," and so on. He had multiple death threats, together with the police. He walked and he really enjoyed that stuff. Listen, buddy. One thing I'm going to say to you today: you will meet me, because I'm going to make sure I meet you. That's one thing. Okay? You will meet me. Now you will meet me, because I will meet you. That I guarantee you. The second thing is, your mama is not dead till I give you a green check. None of you motherfuckers is dead. I'm gonna dig your fucking graves and get your corpses out to make sure, after abduction is done, that your death certificates are in compliance. Till then, none of you is dead. She was involved in a lot of torture, a lot of crime against me. Not Arkan is dead. No, none of you fuckers is dead. You understand? None of you fuckers is dead. None of you is dead. You might write down you're dead, but you're not fucking dead. In my book, you're not dead. You are dead in my book when I say you're dead. Too much have I seen the stuff that went on for me to say, oh, yeah, oh, whatever. Yeah, it doesn't work like this. In Greece, let me explain to you. This is about the Greece here. This is a Greece. Let me see here. Talk about this here, about his prison and so on. His prison sentences were incredibly, they say that he was altogether 10 years that was inside. Then he alone is bragging about, he talks about, he's the one, we did this one already. He alone talks about how he got, instead of 10 years reduced sentence, instead of, I think that in Greece, 15 years or whatever, and he got 4 years or whatever. He brags about this. He is bragging about how inside of the prison he enjoyed VCR, cable TV, caviar food, all kinds of food that he enjoyed, that he, all kinds of stuff. He wants to be seen like he was being taken care from outside. And I make that possible for you to understand how this guy was actually taken care of. I made it possible for you to understand how this individual was being taken care of. I made all this stuff possible for you. You get to, you know, you get to understand, right?
Žan Dekret me je prepričal da ti
This was a big body of psychiatrists.
Koliko ste ukupno bio godina robio?
Kopš was a big fan of this.
Koliko ste ukupno bio godina robio?
20.
He says that he was 20 years inside of the prison. See, I really don't know what the fuck is going on. It's written over there 10 years, now he's saying 20 years.
Brate.
Ali ja nikad nisam imao veću robiju od 4 godine izdržavanja.
Znači to je 5 puta 4 otprilike, u stvari više puta, makar je bilo 3, nekad bilo...
Bio 2 i godinu i po i tako da se nakupili. Sad on bio, ceo život na robiji. Moj jedan dan života na robiji, ja mislim, možemo da uporedimo sa jednim štreberskim od mjesec dana. Zašto? Čitam knjige, crtam, pišem, držim treninge, sam treniram puno, uvijek je sve uredno.
He says, I'm doing a painting, I am doing whatever the fuck I'm doing, I'm training, I am always working, I keep everything clean.
Televiziji meni samo USB sa najboljim serijama, serijalima.
Watching TV, the best movies.
To, Nacionalna geografija.
National Geographic.
Kitchen, ono. Ja se bavim svime, multi sam, ono...
Jeste, to znam. Evo, to je zanimljivo, evo, naprijed, šta si pročitao da bi mogao da nam preporučiš, šta ti je ostalo onako?
Pogledajte, knjiga koju uvek obnavljam i koja je moja već...
20 years, it's a totally different number, no, than what is written over there, 10 years. Oh, this is very bad. 20 years is really bad number. That's a bad number. That is a bad number. This guy, however, is a terrible liar. Next to the books, I was the one who was delivered inside of his prison cells. In his prison, all the prisons, every fucking prison, they would deliver me to visit. So if they deliver me, they must be delivering other people too. And then there is that other factor I told you about, the prisons. The fuck would I want to go visit criminal? Koja kurac sudbina je? What kind of destiny? What the fuck do I have to do with the Serbia? Do I look to you like a Serb? What the fuck we got to do with the Serbia? Do I speak Serbian? Am I Serb? What is my connection to the Serbia other than what I stated on the blog? What the fuck you bring me to the Serbia for? What the fuck? I chose to be mechanical engineering technician. If it wasn't for you, I would have doctorates. This shit have chosen to be a career criminal. I don't blame him. He lived pretty good. He had a good life. Just like Aleksandar Vučić. But I never chose to be a career criminal. I never chose to be a criminal. I noticed that British royals love the TV. They love the videos. Reality TV. The Tsar of the reality TV, Donald Trump. came straight out of MK Ultra world, straight out of horrors of MK Ultra, which had capacity to video record and entertain, enjoy his circles, his elites, charge for his videos, for his shit, for the horror, watch. And so I guess I became one of the main actor in this world, MK Ultra actor, basically. The entire Hollywood was addicted to this shit. They wanted to see the faces of horror on the face of the human being, and so on, as they explained me and stuff. There is a different kind of industry out there, people. I just explained to you. That's why I told you I'm the only individual in this world who was choosing his own destiny. One person in this world only who was choosing his destiny. I would not give credit another person in this world by saying that he was choosing a destiny. Not one. I know what it means to go from one day to another in the school. Becoming a suicidal almost. Asking yourself, what the fuck is about life? What is the meaning of life? In the 3rd grade, until you're gonna have to go and make 5 more grades to finish the grammar school because of degree and amount of violence. I never heard of anything like this. Other children were happy, jumping back and forth, doing this. I was thinking about other stuff. I was thinking about if you're the strongest guy in this world, and you're the smartest guy in this world, and you've always proven that you're the most stupid, the weakest. If you can beat 10 guys, it's going to come 20 or 30 or 40. Eventually they dispatch entire school on me at one point. You never get it right. You never get it right. What is the fucking meaning of life? For me, going into the school was just the main thing to do. Just to come to the school, sit in the fucking desk and whatever. Because this is what I came to the school, to have more problems. That was the task, but I did it. And at the end of the year, there was no unexcused hours from the class. I was absolutely the worst student inside of the classroom. Others had probably about 2 grades per, it's like kind of semester, which together that would make about 2 by 2, 2 plus 2, 4, 8. That would probably make about, no, actually 4 grades per year would be, I think, right? For every quarter that you get a grade, something like this, right? And then you would have another index, and that would be different. That would be like, I have no clue, 2 or whatever grades for every quarter or something like that. Well, in my case, 1 was the lowest grade. In my case was different. In my case it was maybe instead of 2 grades, maybe it was 6 grades, and it would be maybe like 1, 1, 1, like the lowest grade, maybe 2, lowest grade again, 2, 1, 2, whatever fuck. Sometimes even the highest grade, whatever. But the fight I had with the teachers about this shit, this was nothing about terror. This was all the time about fight with everything, with teachers, with children, with teachers that guided this violence. There was no life for me. I didn't know from one day to another what I didn't know. I went When I went to sleep, I did not know if I'm going to wake up in the morning. I did not know if I'm going to be capable to get up and go. The children, the teachers, they would write you a grade, and then they would use this rubber to delete the grade, and another fucking grade, and another one. Then they didn't work anymore. Then they would go and start to use the whiteout. Then they wouldn't work and start to fucking glue over and write grades and stuff like this. This is a fucking lunacy. Some children went and took pens and they started to write themselves grades inside of the indexes from the teachers, from the private indexes. I never did it. And I was the one who was the most fucking student kid in the school ever. Not one time I did. I was choosing my destiny where the logic didn't have it anymore. I just did it without knowing why the fuck I'm even doing it. The biggest enemy of everything was to think about why you're doing it. I learned this at a very, very early age. I was born to become a criminal. They were doing their best to make a criminal out of me. Something I never was interested in. Something that blew the roof over the top. Once I came to the United States of America, I became interested in becoming a law enforcement officer, police officer. It was the worst fucking thing. British Royals, Prince Charles, King Charles, Prince Andrew, and later Prince Harry and Prince William had to face with the worst news. Nobody bet more in crime against me with a goal for me to become a criminal than British Royals. The godfathers of Kristjan Golubović. 1986. Never gonna forget. Never gonna forget 1986 in Belgrade. Never gonna forget Greece. The first thing that happened was the Germans assisted me. They made a meeting on how they're going to fuck Gregor Golubović. The problem is, the Gregor Golubović, at the time I was investigating this stuff, he was 4 years inside of the jail. He already was arrested in Greece. 2 years later, they delivered me to Greece. So I think. And I get to meet a Jew. They are writing about the Jew here. I really wasn't sure what to do with it, but he was not 20 years. He was 10 years inside of the prison. He looks like a really tough guy, an angry guy, no? Doesn't look a really, really angry guy. Look how angry he looks like. And he's having fights all the time. All the time is a fight.
Nisu kod njih pare! Nisu kod njih pare!
All the time.
Može.
Smart guy, tough guy. But I noticed one thing about this tough guy, smart guy. And he bragged to me about that he has everything written on whatever he had with me during MK Ultra on some kind of booklet and stuff like this. No, man, it's a Serbian government that gives him a really good hand. This is going to be another case. Another case is going to be dedicated to, not to this girl who was also involved in it, but to a health minister, Bartignoli, whatever her name is, appointed by Joe Biden. She had a problem with me too. he killed nine inside of the prison. That's what it says. And he was locked inside 4.5 years. Originally, I think they sentenced him to 15 years. He was doing drugs. He was drug trafficking. He was doing drug trafficking. He was doing drug trafficking, and he robbed a Jew. Yeah, he robbed a Jew. So the first thing that happened was I met this Albanian gang. I was hijacked from United States of America, delivered to Greece to meet Albanian gang. Albania always Albania was doing its things, no? But Albania knew that when it comes to the Serbs and myself, so they presented me with an offer. They said, we're gonna get him. We're gonna get him inside of the jail. We already made an arrangement and so on, and we're gonna do him and so on and so forth. I did not even know what. They demonstrated me. They reminded me of what, because I knew him only during MK Ultra, only from under MK Ultra when I was drugged up. I got to see who he was. I do it. I told him, just fucking do it. So the next thing, a Jew. I walk in the street, and it was the street that goes uphill, and it was American Central Intelligence Agency. They told me, we already have the guy who's gonna get him for you. And of course, what they do is they video record with the cameras, everything. It's like a show. It's a show. You become, during MK Ultra, you become a show person yourself. You've been video recorded, and then this stuff is being trafficked. People watch. Dark web system. Where you would have a net of people connected to one another, ability to see throughout the entire case the way it went. There is something like a Nigerian scam, but Nigeria is an angel when compared to British Royals to London. That I guarantee you. Britain grew so big through this case, it's unbelievable. The world have forgotten about one, but through this, you fucking kidding me. To every criminal gang, not only crime concern, but everywhere throughout the world, through the streets where the prostitution rules, through the fields where the farmers grow food, you name it, fishermen fish, you name it. It was a nice Jew. The Jew was a really nice guy. This was a nice guy. They bring me there, and he started to talk to me. He started to talk to me about, he was talking to somebody, and then he started to talk to me. So this shit already happened. It was nothing about, we will get him. We will get him. Do you want me to get him? They explain me, this is a Jewish person and this and that. The only thing I did was I turned around and I walk away. Say, fuck off. That's it. I want to have nothing to do with the Jews. Anyways, the Jews were nothing other than problem. And now you want to go and you want to fix something for me. Listen, not even during MK Ultra I allowed you to come close to me. Just remember. And they torture and they keep bringing back and so on. And meanwhile, Golubović already appeared. They had me already inside of the prison. I now really knew very well who Golubović was, everything. Finally, I am pissed off enough. Yes, fuck him. You will do this. You will. It was all about. He will help you. He will help you. Say, you help me? Okay, you fucking help me. You do whatever the fuck you're gonna do. I did not even know what the fuck went on. Well, that's exactly identical system as to the one I described for Tyson Fury Alexander Usyk match. Exactly the British way. They cover their ass even ahead of the match for games they know they're gonna fucking lose. Identical shit. The Albanian criminal gang, I find myself inside a prison. No. A British Royals all of a sudden appear. They just learn Prince Andrew and Charles. I get berated, I get scolded, I get reprimanded. That's how you try to do your friend. That's how you're doing. And it's like this, and they were setting him up. And you did this, and you did this stuff, the same shit, identical shit as to 1986 with his mother, the same stuff, the same shit. You set him up and so on. Oh, I told him, yeah, I did. I set him up. So, what's your problem? Oh, we're not going to support you anymore. We this, we that. As a matter of fact, we no longer will support you. We will now support him. Ooh. So, I'm being in competition with the Kristjan Golubović during MK Ultra. Ooh. Ho-ho. So this guy became really prominent in the eyes of British royals. So prominent that they were going to use him to drive me insane, bewilder me, drive me totally nuts. Oh, so they're going to do. So yeah, so the first thing we're going to talk who is the ward of the prison and so on. Yeah, they went and talked to the ward of the prison and so on. Inside of the prison. Actually, before this, it was Gregor Golubović had me. Kristjan Golubović. It's a bit difficult to explain this stuff. Ubiće me, bre, I'm by myself and this and that. They're gonna kill me. Razbio sam, I don't know. I destroyed a guy or two. But there are so many and this and that. They will kill me. And supposedly they watch some videos and stuff. Yeah, it's true. How brave you are. But because you're so brave, we will help you. Yeah, we will help you because you're so brave. And it was Prince Charles who did business. You know how he does the business, Prince Charles? Prince Charles uvijek traži hrabre ljude. Prince Charles, when it comes to the criminals, he is always searching for exceptions. And to be an exception, that means that you must be a brave person. Bravery, he honors the bravery. He does not honor the crime, that's what he's going to tell you, but he honors a bravery. I know this dick to the last particle of his rotten British brain. In and out. I know what is inside of his head. I can imitate him, the way he talks. The way, more than anything, the way he thinks. You don't know how he breathes, motherfucker, when it comes to crime. Because I saw him done so many times in front of me to so many people that I had ability to literally learn how he does this stuff. So he does not, while he does not like the crime, and he goes the same to the Prince William. That's why he trained. William became a big sponsor of Gregor Golubović. He connected himself through Golubović, actually, to Golubović through the Aleksandar Vučić, who always participated in these meetings. This is a private house of Aleksandar Vučić. Šešelj, Karadzic, Milošević, Putin. This is what they thought that this would be like. Yeah, they at least thought that this was it. So they don't honor crime, but Golubović was just an exception. Golubović is no idiot. He's quite intelligent guy, and he understands pretty damn good stuff. He's not stupid. Golubović is, he knows his business. They teach him. He has the best teachers in Europe for sure. Serbian criminals, this is like trained by the Serbian state, top of the line, right at the top, the best. So he knew exactly what it means. Hrabar, and so on. Or the we were warden, this and that. Exception and this and that. No, exactly. This video must go on before he files that certificate. I don't like that shit. Certificates, death certificates. Those of you who did it, that's what British royals come after he already broke, I don't know, 2, 3 Albanians. They will keep coming at him. Right? I found myself in a prison. Finally, the stories came out before they put me in the prison. Actually, they had me in the prison all the time, in and out, but that's when they transferred me to the prison more than, that's where I would be basically when it comes to Kristjan Golubović, only meeting one in the prison. There wouldn't be shit happening outside no more. This tourist appeared to me was an American tourist. He was quite a skinny guy, and I think he had a really, really short haircut, and he was close to 60, something like this, I would say. Like a typical American tourist to me, that's the way it looked like. We had this, not the sandals, but what you place on the leg for walking. I don't even know how you say that. Whatever. Barefooted with what he wear without socks, therefore without socks and with, it's not sandals, it's that other stuff. It kind of looks like a sandals, but it's not sandals. You just put that stuff on your foot. If you go take a shower somewhere in a public place or something, you know, to prevent germs from getting on your feet or something, that's what you would do. So found myself inside of the prison. Golubović keep building his schizophrenia case with the Serbian government. with British, for the British, and start to insist that they already break everybody, and totally psychotic shit. Stuff he is written inside of the article. Serbs write about how he started to teach them to use knives and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it was so terrible. Everybody, everybody, Macedonian, whatever they had from other Serbs, they had one Croat and this and that. Croat came afterwards. Also, Croat came also to see it. How they started to take control over the Albanian. Just like the British said, no, we're gonna do the reverse. We're gonna do the vice versa now. They're gonna pay for it. What they tried to do to my boy, basically, right? To your boy, to your Kristjan Golubović. And so, sooner than not, I am now tortured by the Albanian gang. Wow, that must have been Albanian, huh? The Albanians were, whichever way it is, you know. So, that's weird, that's strange. I became guilty, and now they're stuck, and they're getting beaten up inside of the prison. And now I'm being tortured by the Serbs, by everything. I think maybe not even Macedonians, maybe they did not, but they had to do something because the Serbs demanded. But then you have by the Bosnians. Now, I think the Croats and the Macedonians were so-so, but I'm not sure. I don't want to say if I'm not sure. The Croat guy, I know that he also tortured, but toward the end, whatever it was, of his sentence and so. This prison guard, this director of the prison, this was a funny guy. This was the same shit like in Italy, in Milano, when they dumped me inside of the prison and they tortured me. These are all big people. They're not so big when you meet them in you know, I met these guys that were tough during MK Ultra, and I met them like on the street. They were nothing tough. They are completely different when you meet them in person. It's totally different story. But during MK Ultra, this is this. You had a guy you had a fucking children that behaved like fucking adults, and so violent as you jucked up. They torture you before that, traumatize you, then they throw you on a picture with this. When they break you, when you realize it doesn't make any sense or whatever, they convince you. And they take from there and they abuse, and it can be a child that does shit at the end. And finally, it makes no difference. Tutored by elderly children are extremely violent. The children are more violent than grown-ups. And so Kristjan Golubovic's prison sentence in Greece turned out to be nothing other than really severe torture, which I endured. And so he got to talk about how he suffered, what he was doing and stuff like this. And I got to be the invisible one who really got, I'm not going to say fucked, but tortured. Simple. I don't know what torture means in Serbian language. I don't know. I think that torture in Serbian language doesn't mean shit. It's nothing, really. But it will mean shit. It will mean shit when I get my hands on you. You will understand what the fucking meaning of the torture is. You're gonna be on my elements now. Now I'm gonna enter your world like you entered mine. I don't know what your problem was for your laying your hands on me, touching me, looking at me even. But I have a problem with you because of the stuff I stated. You destroyed me 53 years of life. So make no mistake for what I stated, including it goes to Arkan, it goes to all these famous Serbian criminals. You will meet me. You will meet me. It's not going to be under your terms. It's going to be on in another country. It's going to be inside of the courtroom, and you're going to be dealing with the real mafia. I don't give a three fuck about British or whoever the fuck. I don't care about any of that stuff. I'm not a Croatian state. Croatian state had a war or whatever the fuck. Ukrainian state. You're going to negotiate with. You're not going to be fucking negotiating with me. You fucking scum. You're not going to be, you little fucking dirt, you're not going to be negotiating with me. That I promise you. You're going to be negotiating with a state prosecutor. Prosecutors. And we will meet, but we will meet under my terms this time. And we will meet. You dreamed about the meeting. You threatened and stuff. I'm going to give you a chance to demonstrate me how tough you really are. No, I am going to make sure you're going to demonstrate me how tough you really are. I think you are a shit. I think that you're a pussy. I think you're not tough. I think you are shit. I think you're tough when you have somebody jacked up in front of you. That's when you're tough. That's all. That's where your toughness comes from. But in reality, you're not. You're not really tough. The Serbs are tough because they have British royals protecting them. You're tough because you have a mafia from London, from Washington D.C. even protecting your ass. That's why you're tough, motherfuckers. Ain't gonna be nobody to protect you no more. Then I want to know how tough you are. I want to see how tough you are. I want to taste how tough you are. See, I'm a little bit different. I want to know how tough you are. I want to know what Belgrade is made out of. It's not over till I tell you it's over. You had so much to tell me. There was so many death threats and all kinds of threats and stuff that you will and you will. Okay. All right. You will. You will. I'm gonna dig your fucking Slobodan Milošević's grave to get to his bones. You understand? Every fucking one of you that you buried yourself, I'm gonna bulldoze your graveyards to get to your fucking bones. As for those of you that were in this thing, you think you're gonna get away with the death certificates. Keep dreaming about it. I'm not done with you. The war on Balkans ended, but I am not done with you. I am not done with you till you're gonna pay me for every second that you spend next to me, you motherfuckers. I want to feel you. I want to know you. I want to understand how you breathe, you fucking scum. I want to measure your heart pulse. I want to get to know you in person. The same like with the Slovenian police. I am in Slovenia right now. You do understand that. You do understand I'm in Slovenia right now. I think of them less than what I think about you. They're bigger shit than you are. Together now you form a big, big shit. That's all there is to it. You're not going to condition this case. You're not going to put your rules. Whatever you accomplish with the violence. That violence bursted in 91. And it bursted in a little bit smaller Serbia. And it bursted into a little bit smaller Russia. Greeks, American Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, FBI, Albanians inside of that prison, Serbs, some Macedonians, whatever. Macedonians did start to get involved in torture toward the end of it, just as the Croat, maybe like a last year or something like that. They were all involved, and obviously they got paid together with the prison guard, with the Greek police for torture. And that's all there is to Kristjan Golubović. It was the same in other prisons. I did not study that one, but I watched a video on a Facebook about Golubović bragging about Albanian gang. I want to meet these people. I want to meet this Albanian gang. I want to meet you at the court too. I don't like you either for the stuff you did to me. Directly connected to Angela Merkel, to Germans. And Golubović directly connected to the British. That would be fucking strange if these people would not meet on a frequent basis with Vučić, with other Chetniks, with Putin, with French, with Italians, from all over the place in our house here. So, you may want to think you are a tough guy, you are a big guy, you brought me to Belgrade, you had some gorillas you posed in front of me. Sometimes I see the videos of you. Listen, you motherfuckers. We're gonna meet in person. And it's gonna be under my terms. I know about different kind of mafia. The one that grabs police for the throats. That kind of mafia. The one that police shivers. The one that brings royals to the justice. The untouchables. The presidents with the special immunity programs. Credentials wherever. That's the mafia I like. A lot of work. You invested a lot of work. I see this shit covered with this Kristjan Golubović all over the Serbian news. Kristjan Golubović probably gave me, if I state, maybe, I have no fucking idea. Maybe if I say 1,000 death threats, I am not exaggerating. That's what the police, Slovenian police, was using one with the Serbian police, with the Serbs. Ljubljana, Kuchan and Vucic, this is what it was, Fajon, Pahor, and this. It was always about the Kristjan Golubović, the toughest guy, the big tough guy. Death threat, death threat, death threat. Kristjan Golubović got upset with me, the same like Andrew Tate, you know Andrew Tate, the same thing, because I didn't like his sister. Sorry, but I'm gonna be honest with you. The Andrew Tate sister, I really wanted to marry one because of Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan. It was time, we were friends, really. And they already became violent just before this matrimonial offer. I don't know how old she was, but I believe way back in time when she was, I don't even know that she was 18, whatever. The thing is that she did not appeal to me, the facial characteristics. And they just demanded from me to marry her and marry her and marry her, that I must marry her, this and that. Well, Andrew Tate did not understood. I didn't want to say to him, she's ugly. I didn't want to hurt his feelings. So he became violent. He demanded from me to simply get in love with her because of his violence. Till he realized that he alone was not a material for the type of women with the facial characteristics he wanted me to go for. Basically, as I said, his sister. The same shit, no, actually this was not like this. This was, when it comes to Kristjan Golubović, this is a fucking animal. Was with his sister. She was not appealing to me. Not even a little bit. The thing is that Kristjan Golubović was involved in also a lot of crime against me. That I would go and marry sister from some gangster like this, that I would live what, in some kind of fear. My man, if I married your sister, I would kill you. Do you know that? Do you know you would not last around me 1 week? I would tear your head apart. I will fucking bury you in 1 week if I was forced to marry your sister. You're lucky. You can consider yourself lucky when you push a man like myself, a sister, down the throat because of your violence. You're as good as dead. You're lucky your sister did not marry me, because you would be dead in less than a week. Tell them on a TV, on a Serbian TV, this is no fucking joke. Those bullets I heard that they miss you, believe me, I would not. Believe me. Mother became violent from Golubović, demanding from me to marry daughter. Now you don't like the daughter, this and that. Golubović, he always was crazy. He was always psychotic. He committed a lot of crime in Germany. He was dumped from the Germany. I remember Golubović when he was in the Germany. He was drowning in crime. He was a violent kid. They didn't want him in Germany no more as a child. They wanted to dump him out. They didn't want him in Germany. It was nothing other than violence, nothing other than crime. They did him a favor, they kicked him out. Usually what they do, they destroy people like this. Because he was involved in my sister, in my case, because his father, Srboljub, his name is Srboljub, Serbian lover, translated to English, was involved in this case. He survived. This is the only reason why he is alive. This is the only reason why Golubović lived beyond 14 years of age. He was up to no good already at 14 years of age. Kids like this, what they do is social services, they come, they pick them up, dump them into homes. They don't fuck with the garbage like this. That's a waste. That's all there is to it. You're gonna go and fucking threaten me, behave like this for keeping you alive throughout your life, you little shit. Lie on a Serbian cameras how you tough, you did I don't know what you did, what you survived 100 knives. Really interesting to me. At the same time doing this kind of damage to me. Hey. Now you are going to meet me. Now you are going to meet me. Remember what I told you. Now you are going to meet me. Arkane, now you are going to meet me. Every Serbian criminal, an entire Serbian underground in Belgrade, or whether you are somewhere else, they had Serbs also. They also connected Serbs in Brazil and stuff like this. Now you're going to meet me. Now you're going to meet me. You want war? You wanted a war with me? I'm going to get you the biggest mafia in this world, the world have ever seen. Like the one in Ukraine. I'm going to get you such a fucking mafia that you're going to prove me what you are made out of. The Belgrade. I'm going to get you such a mafia, boy. I'm going to feel every fucking breath you make. Every beat your hearts make. For making me death threats. You're going to see how that goes with me. Yeah. A lot of stories. He's got a lot of stories. He's got a lot of stories to tell. So you like the stories, if you like the guy, a tough guy talking, and a tough guy, then this is definitely the guy for you. The British Royals liked him. They appreciated him. In underground, or which part British Royals always were, addicted to the prison, addicted to the school violence on the children, and addicted literally to the prison stuff. A reality show basically. It's a different kind of show, stuff people don't get to even see on cameras. I guess this is what they like. These are his godfathers. This is a Serbia, and there's a connection between the Serbia, the brotherhood with the London, with the Buckingham Palace. I wanted to review in this video. This looks to me like exciting, no? It looks like exciting. It looks like a big fight. It looks like wow, huh? You think you're making an impression with this stuff, that you are interesting, or I don't know what you think.